It takes a fraction of a second. A screen glows in the dark, signaling the arrival of a single notification. Psychological data reveals that this simple ping derails your cognitive processing for 7 full seconds. Measuring our relationship with technology by total screen time overlooks the underlying mechanic. The actual damage stems from fragmentation, the act of checking a device hundreds of times a day, repeatedly shattering the focus required for deep thought. Each interruption triggers a measurable physiological shift. Pupils dilate, cortisol levels rise, and the body enters a state of heightened arousal. This process relies on perceptual salience. Tech designers use sudden visual movement and bright alerts to forcefully pull baseline cognition away from the task at hand. This creates a strange cycle where we find ourselves mindlessly swiping through content that provides no genuine satisfaction. These devices function as highly calibrated biological traps, engineered to systematically hijack human attention through the guise of communication. To understand the hijack, we have to look into the mesocortical limbic circuit, the brain's ancient reward pathway. This chart shows a reward's internal mechanics. Dopamine is the chemical of anticipation, wanting. A massive neurological surge occurs before the reward is received, separate from the pleasure of liking. This system evolved to motivate ancestors to seek scarce resources. Survival in that environment relied on social cohesion, maintaining physical bonds and trusting the immediate in-group. Human biology is optimized for physical connection within a limited circle of roughly 150 people, Dunbar's number. For our ancestors, trust was built through tactile interactions, like the physical grooming seen in other primates. We are currently operating modern, abundant digital technology using prehistoric neurological wiring built for a world of scarcity. In this context, the smartphone functions like a modern-day hypodermic needle, delivering digital dopamine directly to the visual cortex. Tech designers exploit this vulnerability using a behavioral mechanism called intermittent variable reinforcement. This is the same principle used in operant conditioning chambers, where subjects are trained to press a lever for randomized rewards. On a smartphone, the act of scrolling functions identically to pulling a slot machine lever. Algorithms feed our evolutionary need for novelty by providing an endless, unpredictable stream of content, ensuring the brain stays in a state of constant search and explore. This system hijacks our survival instincts, creating artificial tribalism and digital echo chambers to maximize time on the device. The human brain becomes paralyzed by millions of superficial digital connections that it was never biologically equipped to process. Social media is a calibrated Skinner box, explicitly designed to exploit our deepest evolutionary drives. The moment we log off, the brain is plunged into a dopamine deficit state. To compensate for the artificial spikes caused by the apps, the brain downregulates its own dopamine receptors, making everyday rewards feel muted. This creates cognitive dissonance, a painful psychological friction, where we continue to use the platform even when we no longer derive pleasure from it. The cumulative result of this deficit is chronic digital fatigue, anxiety, and depression. In its final stage, the trap leads to learned helplessness, where users feel unable to disconnect from a system that makes them miserable. 1,000 superficial digital connections fail to satisfy our specific evolutionary requirements, leaving us isolated in a paradox of modern loneliness. We are attempting to navigate a limitless virtual world with a brain hardwired for a tribe of only 150 meaningful, intimate relationships. Reclaiming our attention requires a neurobiological reset, a 30-day dopamine fast. This period of abstinence starves the algorithms and allows the brain's reward pathways to return to their baseline levels. Recognizing the science behind our hijacked attention is the only way to step out of the Skinner box and reclaim our biological autonomy.